At last night's PlayStation Showcase, Insomniac Games revealed their two new titles that are coming exclusively to the PlayStation 5. Those titles being Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which looks super exciting, and Marvel's Wolverine. I suppose that means there's an exciting prospect for a PlayStation Marvel universe, which could be pretty cool, if done properly at the very least, and considering that both Marvel's Spider-Man and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales were both incredible games, there is no position I feel is appropriate for me to take beyond just sheer excitement. We experienced the game as Peter Parker in Spider-Man, and we experienced Miles Morales. 2023 is the year where we're going to experience them both together properly, in apparently their most epic single-player adventure yet, coming exclusively to PlayStation 5 consoles. So it appears 2023 may be the year in which PS5 finally leaves PS4 behind and embraces what it can actually do without the games having to also work on the previous generation. By which point it would have been a long time coming, though I understand why this buffer period has been so big considering that a whole 6 people can get a hold of a PS5. But by then maybe it will be officially time for the PS5 to actually show us what it can do in the exclusives department with the technology, considering it's a smart bit of kit, but because it's got to cling to the PS4 still being able to run these games that are coming out for it, we aren't actually getting a good picture as to what this console can actually do just yet. So it's exciting now to know that there will be a game coming that will show us that properly, in the vein of something where we can compare it to the previous entry to the franchise so we can see how it's different. So maybe the time will be right by that point for this generation switch to officially actually happen, because we've had the PS5 since 2020, and I'm going to be honest with you, in the year that it's been out almost, at this point it still feels a little bit like a redundant bit of kit purely because of the shortage of it, meaning that a lot of games have had to come to the PS4 too, and that generation switch is a little bit on the awkward side as a result of every other aspect that's come into play, such as COVID and also scalpers galore. But enough of that particular topic. It's also cool to see that Marvel's Spider-Man isn't done, and they are going to actually utilize what they've set up. Now, if you're watching this video, you're more than likely well aware of what's been teased in both of the Marvel Spider-Man games that have released so far, and that is Venom. And it was sort of obvious that they were going to take that route, so it's kind of exciting to see them do it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the storytelling aspect of it as well. I'm nowhere near the most comic book clued up person in the world. I don't really know it too great. However, I know enough for it to be exciting just the same. Beyond that, the PlayStation blog is keeping the details to a minimum, keeping the details mainly to information about the cast. They said that they're pushing the capabilities of the PS5, which is very exciting, and they're equally pumped to be crafting all new stories for Peter and Miles. But of course, that's all stuff we've more or less been over in this video already, because obviously. The other teaser we got to see was of course for Marvel's Wolverine, which is a standalone game coming to the PS5, which is being directed by Brian Horton and Cameron Christian, who recently led the creative efforts on Spider-Man Miles Morales apparently. Also stating in the blog that not dissimilarly to the Spider-Man games, the goal is to not only respect the DNA of what makes the character so popular, but also look for opportunities to make it feel fresh and truly reflect on the Insomniac spirit. The game is in very early development, and so the teaser we got wasn't in-game footage, so I wouldn't imagine this game releasing until after Marvel's Spider-Man 2. The way the blog words it makes me think that Marvel's Spider-Man and Marvel's Wolverine are occurring in the same universe, and so I think it's pretty cool if Marvel, Sony and Insomniac want to kickstart some form of universe going forward with these games, though I would argue that that sort of thing needs to be handled in just the right way, otherwise it can sometimes fall flat pretty quick. It's also possible that this is the continuation of the universe rather than the establishment of one that's more broad and has more crossing over, because that's not necessarily needed. And a certain wording in the blog saying that Sony, Insomniac and Marvel would brainstorm together about the future beyond the web slinger makes me think it could also be possible that they don't want to overdo the Spider-Man stuff, in the sense that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is as far as they've thought ahead with that one, and in the spirit of keeping their games fresh, they're going to be moving on to Wolverine fully afterwards. And who knows where they go from there. But regardless, Insomniac and Sony in this respect have definitely earned my interest with Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, and I'm excited to learn more about the game when the time is right, and see just how these games might push the capabilities of the PlayStation 5. But there's not really much point in dragging this video out far beyond that. But there was so much cool stuff at this PlayStation showcase beyond these games, such as the KOTOR remake, which has me stupidly excited, and God of War of course. So maybe PlayStation and Sony on the whole are finally just getting back into gear, because they've been out of sorts since the release of the PlayStation 5 a little bit, doing things a little confusing and a little questionable at times, and that was a touch on the concerning side. But that does bring us to the end of today's video. Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments section, of course. Otherwise, be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff if you want to, of course. That would be massively appreciated. And if you're looking for a bit of fun, go back through the video and find the sneaky spider pants and comment down below the timestamp at which you find him, for a pat on the back, I guess. But with any luck, hopefully I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point. If not, no worries. I mean, it's the internet, right? But take care, and goodbye.